perhaps you can set the table. First, I'm going to read something briefly from Maria and Alessandro's book, which I heartily recommend. Please get it. It's a great book. From 2007 to 2011, the number of jobs in the tech sector in New York increased by 29%, from 41,000 to 52,900. Jobs decreased in such traditionally strong sectors as finance, publishing, legal services, and manufacturing. At the same time, the number of venture capital investments in New York startups grew by 32%, while the number fell by 10% in Silicon Valley, 14% in surrounding areas. So, Maria, I want you to set the table. I want you to talk a little bit about some of the things that I read about in the book that I found very interesting. For example, this meetup experience. To me, it sounded almost like an underground group. I'd never heard about it, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's kind of organic capitalism at its best. And so talk about the meetup experiences, and does this kind of thing happen in Italy? Could it happen in Italy? And talk also about the New York Angels, which is not a baseball team, but interesting set of folks.
Yes, thank you, Vito. And before I start, I wanted also to thank especially two friends in the audience who helped making this book, and who are Sarah Matic, the designer who designed the beautiful cover, and Francesco Mogini, a brilliant student at UPenn, who was our intern last summer. Where are you, Francesco? Who helped us organize the 50 interviews on which is based our book. Well, I wanted also to, because you mentioned the angel investors, I wanted to mention why we call the book Tech and the City, because really tech today is sexy in New York, startups are sexy, and in fact the president, the chairman of the New York Angels, Brian Cohen, told us exactly, today everyone is creating a startup to get laid on a Friday night. And his office happens to be in the Meatpacking district, where a lot of the scenes of Sex and the City were shot. Yeah, the Meetup. So Meetup is one of the companies that was built after a couple of the major crises that struck New York City during the last 10 years, after the burst of the first internet bubble in 2000 and after 9/11, another huge blow to the city. This guy, very young one, 20 years old, Scott Heiferman, was already a millionaire because he was lucky. He had sold his company, iTraffic, and had an online ad agency in '99, before the bubble burst. But he was unhappy, and to reconnect to the real world, not the internet, the virtual one, he went to work in a McDonald's restaurant, flipping burgers. And then 9/11 happened, and he was observing all the people in his neighborhood, the Lower East Side, that who were organizing spontaneously vigils and helping each other. And so he got this idea of the power of people organizing themselves. And so that's the birth of the idea of Meetup, which is this huge online platform for organizing local community. Now it has 11 million members in the world, in 45,000 cities. And that was built in 2002. And after a while, a spin-off of Meetup was New York Tech Meetup. He thought that the New York Tech community needed a place where to gather, but initially they were just a few people, and now they are 800 people meeting every month in a theater downtown at NYU.
It's amazing. I mean,
amazing.
All the people get together,
yeah.
Start shooting ideas with each other. Right?
Exactly. We went. I went there with Alessandro, and we started the book exactly with one of their meetings. And I said that it's the most successful Broadway show because the tickets get immediately sold out as soon as they go online. Every month they make these demos, which are 5 minutes for each startup, and they present their innovation. And in the public there are other people working in the sector, investors.
So it's like speed dating, but only for me.
Yes,
You want to get money, so you come and give your 5-minute presentation.
Yes.
Hopefully an angel or a VC, a venture capital person in the audience, likes it, comes to you afterwards and says, I like your idea, let's talk about it, right?
Exactly, and the energy is amazing, and all the most important startups, when they're on stage, for the last one, for example, you may have heard Tumblr, which was recently bought for $1 billion by Yahoo, was one of the one going on stage. So the spirit of the community is huge, and in fact, the Professor Ivan Kors at NYU told us that one of the differences between the first phase of Silicon Alley, which is a nickname of the tech community in New York, was that in the 90s everyone was there alone by himself, and now he says that everybody roots for the community, and we work all together to make it successful from Bloomberg on top down. And the angels are a very important part of the scene, because money is very important. Ideas without money don't go anywhere. And the angel investors are individual investors who are wealthy, and they invest money in new tech companies at a very early stage. So they give the seed money to start and
This
go
is
on.
long before a company might go public.
Exactly,
So-
and the New York Angels are the angels most active in the country, even more than the ones in Silicon Valley. And Brian Cohen, which I mentioned before, gave us this very interesting, if I may read the 2 lines, a summary of the philosophy of the group. He said that his philosophy, and the philosophy of most of the angels, is give back to improve the world. If you make money and you have more than you need, you have to figure out a way to improve the world. It's your responsibility. If you apply this principle, you understand that being an angel also means doing good. Help these young, bright entrepreneurs develop their ideas, and with them grow the economy as a whole.
Okay. Well, let's bring Italy into this, and let me ask you, and anybody on the panel who wants to, does something like this happen in Italy? And if not, why not? And if it does anyone know if this kind of thing is organically happening in Italy?
Well, I can make a couple of comments because we actually, Teresa and I went, when the book was published in Italy in March, we actually spent about 2.5 weeks going around the country, and from Milan to Cagliari to Rome to different places, and in every city there is a community of entrepreneurs. There are people that get together. There are events that are similar to what happens in New York. Obviously, with the communications ability that we have today with the internet, it's very easy to see what happens across the ocean and other parts of the world. So there's very good familiarity among the young people about what their American counterparts are doing. So, in Milan, for instance, you have the phenomenon of the incubators. You have people getting together on a regular basis to look at demos of companies. What's missing, though, is to a large extent, though, is the rest of the infrastructure. So you have the entrepreneurs, which is really the key ingredient.
Right.
You have some angel investors, not that many, but then there is what's lacking is the later stage investors, the people that come in later to support the companies, to grow them.
After the angels, you mean?
After the angels,
Yeah.
and then after that, you also have, one makes investments also to have to get to a liquidity event, and certainly in Europe, Italy, and in Europe, there is a lot less opportunity to sell a company because you don't have the big players like Google and Oracle and Microsoft as buy little companies, and to go public, it's a rare event. It's difficult to get that. It's possible, but not.
Well, I mean, can we encourage that? I mean, Maurizio or Alessandro, is there a way? Okay, so we have the meetups, we have the entrepreneurs. Italy has always had entrepreneurs. That's never been an issue. The issue is
Christopher Columbus was the first.
The issue is to get the capital to the entrepreneurs with the best ideas. And I think Italy has had an issue with venture capital, and maybe is there a way to encourage this? What can be done, government or private industry, to encourage venture capital?
Well, I think to some extent, I think it's important. At this stage in the game, I wouldn't say it here in the US, but in a country like Italy, I think it's important to have some type of financial incentive also from the government to encourage people to invest money in some of these
Such
startup
as,
companies.
do we have that here? And what would be the kind of things?
I would assume would be things like tax breaks of a certain type, so if you invest in a company at this early stage, maybe you don't pay taxes after a certain period of time.